This is your user panel. First thing I'm going to teach you about are users. So I go to the user menu on your left and click search for all users, and that brings up your quick search, advanced, and on and on and on. I like to show all users, and that gives me a breakdown showing everyone that's registered with our site, their name that they chose, their email, when they joined, and so forth, and also whether or not they've posted. Apparently I like to post a lot because I have 89. So the next thing I want to do is look at the individual user. We're going to pick on Xena because I can't stand a bitch. So, alright, username, that's the name that she needs to log in with. So if I change that, she wouldn't be able to log in. Her email, and it's basically the same form that you filled out when you registered. What I am looking for is the IP address. This is how I determine whether or not it's a robot that has hit us and they're getting ready to spam us to death, or if this is a real person. So I'll copy that IP address, and I use a whole bunch of different services, but any IP address lookup program will work. Put the IP address in and tell them to track it. It'll kick back a response pretty quick. And verifying that this individual lives in Charleston, West Virginia, it actually tells me where their house is or where they're routing out of, and it verifies the IP address. So that works for me. I know that she's not in Tibet or Russia or something like that, and she's trying to hack us, or he, for that matter. This is also the section where you're going to determine what user group they're going to be in. So when we get a new recruit, we would switch that to recruit, and then we would go down here and save it. Then we'll have to go back to show users and open up that person's panel again, and you'll see here that it changed their title to recruit, and we're going to make sure we put her back to registered and save it and show all users, and you'll see she's back to registered with junior member as the title. So that's pretty much how it works. We'll pick a different user, somebody that's an admin, so that I can show you how to switch them over. Let's look at data. He's hardly ever on when we're on. So he is categoried super moderator. Now the super mod user group name is not BuildSims admin. It's something else. I think it says super moderator, so you have to type that in yourself over here. You need to make sure that the custom user title is set to yes, admin, HTML allowed, and then just type in the title that you want to give them. What I'm going to do is actually switch him to an admin, just so you can see how to do it. I'm going to save. And if you notice right here, you see it turns red because now it wants me to go in and change his admin permissions. That's why nobody's an admin on here except for you and me. I think Frank has some very limited options. But what I want you to see is if I check any other one of these groups at the bottom and team member, and I hit save, and this is where a lot of people get frustrated because you keep going back and forth, you'll see that there's a secondary panel, display user group. That's the user group that actually shows. So if I click this and say display him as a team member even though he has admin rights, his name on the front end is going to look just like a team member, and he'll have a blue name, and it'll say BuildSims team member with no admin rights. As you can see here, his name turned red with admin because he's in the admin group. The reality is he is only a super moderator because, like I said, only you and I are admins. And as soon as I get rid of all these other check marks, this user group will go away. So I'm going to save it one more time, and then I'll go back into his user profile and see that he is once again a super moderator. His title is admin, and on the front side I'm going to hit F5 to refresh. I see that everything is correct. He is an admin on the front. So I'm happy with that. So from there, I would just hit save. If you hit reset, it kicks them back to registered, and you have to go through and manually change all these buttons. And let's just say it's not cool if you accidentally do that to somebody's address. List of visitors in the last 24 hours is also a good tool to catch any hackers. It also tells you who's actually showing up on the site. They may not post anything, but they definitely were here. They logged in. So those are some of your more active people. If you just search for users, you can see the last activity date. So for an example, the day she registered is the last time she logged in for this individual. The same for Zappin, who wants to be our data entry person. He has never logged back in. So what I'll probably do pretty soon is I'll probably just delete that user so that we don't have a whole bunch of people that never show up just hanging around in our memory list. Banned users, I'll take care of banning people. Currently nobody's banned. If I wanted to ban somebody, it's pretty simple. I just type in their name. And make sure you type it correctly, or copy and paste it in, and you can actually ban them. The length of time for banning is preset, or you can do a permanent ban. And that's really only going to apply to anybody who gets into a pissing match with one of our people, I think. Mailing list, that's just a way to send a message out to everybody. That's good if you need to send something to everybody. It's going to send like a PM to their email. I try not to do that because a lot of people don't like it, and a lot of people have that set to no in their profile, so it's not very effective. Checking vulnerable passwords. That's something that I do probably about once a week. It can be very taxing on your system to do that, so I try to do it, off peak hours, things like that. Close that up. User groups. These are your user groups, your admins, moderators. All of this is preset. If we wanted to add more, we would just click add new user group and then set all the parameters for what they're allowed to see in forums and all that. Groups, I think you created one group already, but it's uncategorized, so I don't really know what that is yet. I haven't really messed with it. User infractions. This is when people on the front side, let's say they find a post that they don't like, or somebody said something really nasty or whatever, you can report a post right there, and that'll generate an infraction count, just like it does for reputation. That's what the rep and the user titles. I'll leave that alone. That's something we can use later on, like when DNA gets here. Paid subscriptions, that's going to be something we probably will not use on this website unless we get to a point where we want to start collecting membership dues just to look at our forums. I tend to stay away from doing that here, but it can be integrated with PayPal. It's not very easy. Let's see. Threads and posts. This is probably, forums. Forum moderations. This is probably where you're going to spend more of your time if you ever go back here. This is the back-end version of this. So that is this, just in a very raw form. This is where you add your moderators. So right now I think the pet section has one moderator, and that's Frank, for pets only. But then in the pet center, I have Emmy and I have Frank. Down here in the think tank, it's Frank again. And Tech Center, it's Frank and Data. And then in the toolbox, I think it's just Data. Yeah, it's just Data. So that's where you would add one. So let's see, join the Build Sims team. Right now that's set to Alicia. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to add you. And that's it. You don't need to click or do anything else. It's already preset, and just hit save. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. You're an admin, so I need to change everything. All these bubbles, I put them yes because you are a super admin, and I don't want to accidentally restrict anything you can do. Everybody else, leave it alone. Don't change theirs. Just let the bubbles fall where they fall because it's already preset from a different location. yes, yes, and save. Okay. So now on the front side, see, where did we just add you? Right here. Join the Build Sims team. So we'll go up here to join the Build Sims team, and when we click on it, it should tell us who moderates it, and I don't actually see that anywhere on the screen. How interesting. Oh, there we go. Right there at the bottom. Wow. So that's who moderates it. That way if you have a problem or something, and you want to send this person a PM, hey, why'd you block my post, or why'd you delete my post, or something like that, then that's how you do it. Alright. That's pretty much it. I'll let you PM me and tell me if there's something you want to learn how to do on here, and I'll be happy to walk you through it. Or we can learn it together, because I'm not perfect at this particular system yet. I know enough to be dangerous.